This video is about fixing a leaking garbage disposal. The name of the disposal is Evergrind E202. Evergrind, always grinding, Evergrind. Here's the top view and here's a picture of the bottom view. Let's get to the problems now. Problem number 1, leaking from the bottom. As you look in the top left and the top right, you'll see some leaks, and soon a puddle forms. Problem number 2, side cracks and leaking from the sides. Maybe too many watermelon rinds, I'm not sure, but as you see, the cracks have formed on the sides, and taking off the top half, shining a flashlight, proves there's holes. And a quick test with the water, filling up with water, you see little drips coming out of the sides. Not too bad, but enough to be annoying. So let's see if we can get a fix here. The Evergrind lasted me 7 years, but after 4 years, leaks started appearing on the sides. Without disassembling it, I sprayed some material on that bought me 3 more years. Oh, you want to know what that material is? Okay, I'll tell you. I'll unveil it. Ta-da! Great stuff, baby. Oh, and it works. It stopped the leaks for 3 years. Great stuff. Okay, let's try to disassemble this Evergrind and find the root issues. As you see, we start with the screws on the side. There's 4 of them like that. I'll use my trusty number 5 socket wrench. So here we go. Getting the first one up. They're pretty long and they connect to the bottom. But disassembly was fairly easy. The difficult part was trying to pry this open. It's a real tough seal. It was a tar-like substance. And finally got it open, and it revealed the rusty mess that we're dealing with here. So let's continue. Okay, to prepare for this first test, I'm going to kind of analyze the situation here. We need to test this center nut for leaks. Maybe the water's leaking through there. It could be water from this well is leaking and going down also. See, those 4 holes are legitimate right there. Water goes down and then stores in this well and then goes out the drain. So I want to test for those 2 things. Sometime the well is pitted and that will leak water too. So, and then it'll come out the bottom here. We need to build some kind of big wall. How am I going to build this wall? I have an idea how I'm going to build this wall. I'm going to open up my tool cabinet here. And the 2 things I used most as tools are here. Great stuff and ta-da! Duct tape. Isn't that all you really need in life? Let me grab this duct tape and let's start on our watertight wall. Okay, let me put the duct tape around the edge here and seal it with a letter opener. We want a real tight seal so it doesn't leak. That will test the integrity of the center bolt in the water well for leaks. If it doesn't leak, they're good. Okay, so we're going to pour water down there, and if it doesn't leak, then we know the problem's somewhere else. Because it'll go in those 4 holes right there, and it'll drop in the well, and we'll see what happens. Let's test the integrity of the center bolt in the water well. Okay, let's pour in the water. I'm going to try to fill it up to the top and hopefully my duct tape wall will work. Okay, so we got it right to the top here, and let me pan down. I don't see any drips yet. Looks pretty dry. Let's make it harder. Let's turn the crank. Maybe it's something in that bolt that's causing the leaks. Let me turn the crank clockwise a few times. And let's go counterclockwise a few times. Really give it a good test. It's dry so far. Let's take one last look here. I'll pan down. That's dry as a bone. That's passed. Because that test passed, then I have to believe the problem is with the seal right here. The tar seal that they had on there must have lost integrity. And I'm going to have to replace that with some kind of material that will stop the water from going on that outer edge. So let's do the outer edge test right now, the integrity of the sealed area. Let's use an eyedropper to put some water on that outer edge, and this will replicate the case where the seal broke and water's kind of going to this outer edge. And that will be a good test. I hear it dripping already. Yeah, do you hear it? So let's put a little more water in there, but I'm pretty sure, we know the problem now. Let's pan down. Oh yeah. Okay, let's do a dry fit. I put the 4 screws in, I numbered them, and I marked them, and I put a piece of tape down, and I put a line on it, and I'm going to cut it, and that will give me a line-up point for next time. Okay, so this is where we're going to put the material for trying to reseal it. I'm going to put it kind of a little bit on top, a little bit on the sides, try to make a good seal. First, I'm going to use this silicone. It's supposed to be waterproof. I put some down in a little bead right here. And you see the cracks on the side. I'll take care of them now too while I got it open. I'm going to do it on the inside and the outside. So let me lay down a few beads and kind of work it in. This should seal it up pretty good. Well, the tests with the silicone gel were only good. And I don't want good. I want great. So we got to put great stuff on here. I'm going to do the same thing again. Took out the silicone and putting on some great stuff here on the seal. And I'm going to do the same thing to the side wall here. Like I said, the test of the silicone were good, but it wasn't great. So let me work this in, and we're going to have a good integrity test. I'm going to give you a time lapse right now of how this great stuff expands. Okay, let's put this thing back together. Like I said, I numbered the screws, and then I put the number on the evergrind too, so I knew which screws were in which holes. So let's screw this back in, and let's get the final exam. Let's pour in some water all the way up to the top. Looks pretty dry from here. With all the changes I made to this, instead of evergrind, we should call it Frankengrind, in memory of Frankenstein. Oh, that's a good job. There's the silicone still holding up good, and there's the new great stuff. Let's lift it up. Nothing's leaking. That is passed, and this thing is ready to go. Let's give Evergrind a chance to talk. Well, there's no doubt that Frankengrind will get his chance to prove the integrity of his leaks and his good play. But I did go out and buy a new Evergrind E202, and thumbs up to that. It fit right in Evergrind's position. But now it's time to have a little beverage, to have a nice little meal, and grab some salsa with that. And we got to get back on that couch watching TV now.